after a disappointing end to last season. We have a transfer window to try to put things right. I think there's going to be a lot of upheaval in the summer. Some players might want to leave due to the lack of European football, and there's some players who are going to be looking to move on to try to raise some funds as well. Right, a disappointing 9th place finish. Obviously, it was a season of nearly for us last year. We nearly won the Carabao Cup. We nearly got to the final of the Europa League. We nearly crept into the European places at the end of the season. But ultimately, we missed out on all of them. And the FA Cup final does still need to be played. That's going to be between Spurs and Man City. Really not sure what's going to be happening with the extra European place and whether or not a European competition will somehow filter down to us. So maybe the slimmest of chances we could get into it, but it's a big transfer window that we do have, and we are going to have to get rid of some players as well in order to improve the squad. We've got a relatively meagre transfer budget, really, of 31.76 million, so it's definitely not the best of money to go out and spend. Obviously, we would like to bring in Sebastian Hanna permanently, and we could be looking at £43 million to trigger that release clause. So obviously we do need to raise funds. Some of these players are under threat. I think the likes of Lewis Hall, Lane, Barley, Corrigan and Jordan Ross may be put on the transfer list just to try to get us some funds raised early on. And to see what business we can do, we will skip ahead to once that FA Cup final has been played to see if there's any update on the European competitions, but like I say, I think it's pretty doubtful that we're going to make it into anything this year. Manchester City did win that FA Cup final, but as of yet there's been no announcement on European football, so kind of going to assume that we're not going to be getting that. But we do have a lot of players who have been called up for the European Championship, including Owen Foy, who has been called up to the England squad, which is delightful to see. He's got 2 caps already and 2 goals, so has made a good start to life in an England shirt. Hopefully that'll continue at this year's European Championships. But hopefully some of these players, likes of Jordan Ross, cap loans, he's been out on loan this year, doesn't look like they're going to be triggering the release clause that they did have in that contract. So hopefully these players will be able to get the value up a little bit, and then we could look to move them on once the European Championships is over. As of now, though, the players that we mentioned before, the likes of Corrigan, Hall, Barley and Jordan Ross, although we'll leave Jordan Ross for now, but the other 3 we are going to pop them on the transfer list and just try to get some funds raised nice and early before we start doing any business for ourselves as well. Juan Jimenez has been the first name linked with a move away. Obviously Spurs have shown a long-standing interest in him, and he wants to move because of the offer of European football. So they're going to have to come in and bid for him. We're not going to put him on the transfer list. We do have Caetano, who's actually valued a little bit more, and hopefully he will develop into a fantastic keeper. Doesn't quite look at the levels of Jimenez at the moment, but sure he could get there. Needs to have a little bit of a growth spurt and get that aerial reach up a little bit, but other than that, fantastic little keeper, and I'm sure he'll have a great future for us. But we'll get those players on the list, and then we'll see if we get any bites for them as well. It has taken a little while, but we have finally got some offers for Lewis Hall and Lane Barley. The offer we've accepted for Lewis Hall is overall $35.5 million. It's only going to be 16.25 this season, but I think for a player we brought in on a free transfer, it represents a great deal. So that one should be going through shortly. And we've also accepted 5 offers of $10.75 million for Lane Barley, another one who we brought in as a youngster and is now homegrown at the club, but I think with the players that we have now, we've outgrown him a little bit. So bringing in money again, I think we're going to be making a tidy little bit of profit. We brought him in for $4.9 million, so just about doubling our money on that one. So we'll see if those go through. We are changing the backroom staff a little bit as well, so it's been a busy window so far for us. Marcus Rashford is popping up yet again. He betrayed us a little bit last year. We tried to sign him. His wage demands were absolutely ridiculous. He wanted around 150,000 to play for us. Ended up going back to Saudi Arabia, I think it is, and just earning 55,000 a week. So yeah, it's disappointing. He is still a great player, and we are thinking about switching to a wing play system this year as well. So there could be space for him, but we are still a little bit aggrieved at how he mugged us off a little bit last year. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a little bit of a consideration, I think. We'll see what pops up, but yeah, after the betrayal last year, he's going to have to make a nice pay cut for us to persuade him to come home. The sale of Hall did go through. We had 21.5 million added to the transfer budget. That gave us enough to trigger the release clause for Hannah. He does have major reservations about discussing terms with us. He's going to want between 140 to 190,000 a week as well. So it is going to be a lot of money. It looks like at the moment. Definitely happy to use him as a star player. We'll keep the stepping stone thing in for now, just to see if we can butter him up a little bit more. I think it's a lot of money on an appearance fee as well. We'll try to reduce it a bit. We'll offer 120 first. Oh god. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do some wheeling and dealing, I think, to get this one over the line. He's just flat out rejected the first offer. And yeah, I think we're going to have to break the bank. He keeps on going back to these original demands. And realistically, as much as he was great for us, I don't think we can break the bank and offer him this type of deal, which is disappointing for us. But we're going to walk away from it for now. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the transfer window. It would be fantastic to bring him in. He has been a great player for us. Obviously in the league wasn't quite enough, but finished the season with 20 goals for us. So definitely someone who we are interested in bringing back. But for now, we've still got the Barley deal to go through. We still need to offer Corrigan out. Was just waiting for his eligibility to creep over the line. And once that's done, or maybe with a week left, he will be offered out. And then obviously still waiting for Jordan Ross to finish his European Championship with Scotland. And then we'll look to move him on as well. I'm looking to bring in a centre-back, definitely. There's a couple of players who are on the shortlist, as I think we could definitely do with strengthening at the back. And then, obviously, want a striker, maybe a winger as well, if we are moving in that. We do have Felipe coming back, so yeah, we've got options, definitely, but it's about assembling the right squad this season for that push for Europe next year. Despite all the interest that they've had in Jimenez throughout the season, Spurs have now made a bid for Nunziante, which is really, really tempting. We are going to see if we can bump it up a little bit, try to push a little bit more money out of them, and we'll change this to percentage of next sale instead. But if we can get a good deal for Nunziante, then yeah, definitely something which we are going to take. 21.5 million overall, 20% of the next sale. So yeah, I think that could be a delightful deal for us. Ellery Balcom, who we did have recently, is coming to the end of his contract at Leeds, I think it is. So maybe we could bring him in just to be a little bit of a backup and allow Caetano to just really, really take hold of that second keeper jersey this season. So got our options open there. Obviously a great deal for Nunziante if it does go through, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. That Barley sale has gone through as well, so it takes our transfer budget up to 58.5 million now, and obviously we've got a decent amount spare on the wages, so we've got some players on the shortlist. We'll see if there's any realistic bids we can make. Really, really tempted to go after this guy. What's he saying? he would want, similar to what Hannah would want. So another one that's looking a little bit unrealistic with the price tag, but it's extremely tempting, especially after the demolition job that he put us through at the last game of last season. Our old friends Chelsea have offered us another job interview. Obviously we went to the last one, not interested in going to this one. We need to turn things around at Stockport again, plus it's only one more season until we get into our new stadium, so we definitely want to see what that looks like from inside. So yeah, going to reject all interest this season, although we said that last time and there was some very intriguing offers that did come up. So yeah, we will hesitantly say that we are going to reject all offers that are incoming, but who knows what might pop up. So we have made our first signing of the window, although he's not going to be joining us till January. 17-year-old Italian centre-back Saverio Radici will be coming in. One with decent attributes already, only room to improve. Will obviously be a good addition to the under-21s when he first comes in, but hopefully he will develop into a decent little centre-back. Looks like he could really improve, decent determination, already got good marking, especially the tackling, 18 out of 20 already. So a player who could come really good for us, and we're looking forward to his arrival in January as well. In terms of the first team though, I really am leaning towards going in for Marcus Rashford. We do have a very young squad, and I think a little bit of leadership in there, a little bit of experience could do us wonders. And with us switching to a formation which does include wingers, he could offer us something really good on that left hand side. So we will go ahead and just see what we can get him for. We are just going to go ahead and pay it all up front. Can't be bothered with any messing around with this one. But as long as he has reasonable wage demands, then I think, yeah, we will go for it and get him in for a couple of years. He definitely still has the attributes to really make an impact. So we're just going to hope that we can get that one over the line. He wants £76,000. We have had to promise him to fund a coaching course as well. Compared to what he wanted last time, it's very reasonable. So we are just going to try and negotiate a little bit. But I think it will be a fantastic sign for us. 65,000, we're bringing you home. He loves that. I think that's a very good deal. It's a 2-year deal. If he plays 20 games next year, then he will get that extended. But if he wants to come home, we're delighted to actually welcome him in. And yeah, hopefully he can be a good bit of experience in the squad. Another one on the outs, Nunziante has completed his move to Tottenham Hotspur. He's a player that we are going to remember quite fondly. Obviously, he came in during January in our second season in the Premier League, I think it was. But he did a really good job for us. Obviously, he got displaced by Jimenez last year. And yeah, probably is a bit unfair. Jimenez really didn't play well. When he did play last year, Nunziante did really well. But with Kitano in the club and the offer that we did get from Spurs, I felt it was a little bit too good to turn down. So we are going to wish him luck, and yeah, hopefully he can have a good time sitting on Spurs bench. So overall, that does leave us with quite a healthy transfer budget now. Obviously, we've got rid of quite a few players in the squad. Corrigan has been put on the transfer list as well, so maybe an opportunity to make more money there. Obviously, Jordan Ross will be going on the transfer list once his European Championship is done. So I feel like it's going nicely, but yeah, we've just got to see what happens. Obviously, we're still waiting for Rashford to make his decision. There is a few other teams who have gone into him. We're going to hope that he makes the right decision this time and actually comes to us. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. For the second transfer window in a row, Marcus Rashford has been an absolute little weasel. Sorry for watching Marcus, but it's true. He's gone to Brentford, stating that the length of contract we offered him was disappointing. We offered him a longer contract than what Brentford offered him. We offered him, I think, a little bit more wages as well. You're an absolute fool, Marcus, and I hope you go and rot at Brentford. back to the drawing board. So after the disappointment of losing out on Marcus, we have gone and made an offer for a couple of Brazilian players. Leonardo Costa is hopefully going to be the man to replace Marcus Rashford. He's a right-footed left winger. Doesn't look as good with the technical ability or basically any of the ability, but a good little option for us to come in. Will only improve as well. So hopefully we'll get this one over the line. He may be joined by another Brazilian, Santos, the centre-back. Again, another one who will improve that defensive line that we do have. Is a little bit versatile, could potentially fill in at right back. We probably won't ever use him there, but gives us that little bit of versatility. Both of these players have been offered contracts. Will be around 30 million overall for both of them, so I feel it is good business. So hopefully we can get these over the line soon. Both of those signings over the line now. Leonardo Costa and Santos both joining the club. Great to have them here. I think they're both great options for us, and hopefully they can have long successful futures here with Stockport. Cathal Owens has left the club. He's joined Leicester on a permanent transfer. £7.5 million we got for him. Was a nice little player that we did pick up for only £500,000. Was quite irregular when he did first join, but obviously limited game time. Had a season out on loan where he started off well, but game time tailed off towards the end of the season, and he has now joined Leicester in the Championship. With the signing of Costa, I have actually put Amaral on the transfer list. Still toying about whether or not to put Jordan Ross on. Obviously he has fallen out of favour a bit this season, but I think with switching to formation with wing players, he is one of the ones who could fit in very well on this left hand side. But with saying that, obviously we do have Leonardo Costa. Steenboon is another option where we could have there, and I think he looks really interesting in that role. So yeah, there's a lot of options that we do have, and we definitely don't need to keep hold of them. I think Stephen Whittle as well is another one who may find the future under threat, although he is still an incredible little player. So yeah, we've got lots of decisions to be made, and yeah, it's still going to be an interesting season. Maybe not as busy as I first anticipated it would be. Obviously we've got rid of quite a few fringe players, still a few more we could get rid of as well, but on the ins we're definitely looking for quality upgrades in there. But I think with this season not having European football, we definitely don't need as big a squad, and if we could maybe just build up a decent little bank balance, the finances are looking quite good at the moment, so we just need to see what we can do with that. We have just seen a £35 million offer come in for Jordan Ross, so that has been accepted. We signed him for £6.5 million, so again would represent great profit for the club. Another one who, in terms of playing time, died off a little bit last year, so it'll be good money to get. He only has a year left on his contract, so hopefully he'll get that deal signed with Fulham, and it'll be much more balanced up the top end. We've also accepted a loan offer for Amaral as well, with the option of them to buy him in the future. So a couple of players maybe leaving the squad then. I think we might have the attacking players sorted for the beginning of the season, see how they get on in this new formation. Still question marks over Stephen Whittle, and would like another ball winning midfielder in there, but I think the squad is looking good. Maybe another third choice keeper just to sit as backup for these two. So definitely things which we are considering, but definitely happy with how the squad's turning out so far. We have made another sign for the future. Janus Hirsch is an 18-year-old enthusiastic striker, as he's described by the media. Of course, we're training him to be a ball-win midfielder. One who's a very similar mould to PJ Kane, where he can appear to play anywhere down the spine of the team. But we're looking for him. I think he could be a very, very good ball-win midfielder if he develops correctly. So he's going to be in the under-21s to begin with, and hopefully he can get a nice little bit of development and maybe feature for the first team in the future. Still waiting for the Ross deal and Amaral deals to go through, and like we say, it is a ball-win midfielder which we are after. Would really like to get Sinkhorn Silla here. He's a Thai 18-year-old, but another one who looks like he has fantastic potential for the future. And him and Journeyman together, what a lovely pairing that would be in the Premier League, a pair of Thai teenagers. It's just what you love to see. So we will see if there's any interest in him. We did make a bid for him earlier, which was accepted, and he wanted us to promise him the world before he came. So we're going to hope that after a little bit of time and after we've scoured him, he can, hopefully come along with us. Do have other irons in the fire though. Jeff Johnson's currently playing for Burnley. They're in a bit of a perilous position transfer wise at the moment, so maybe we could go after him. He's definitely not the best player, but could definitely do a solid job for us and room for improvement as well. So we'll keep an eye on him. Could be a decent little option for us to consider as well. Corrigan's completed a loan move to Heidenheim in the Bundesliga. It could be a good little move for him actually to develop, so we have actually taken him off the transfer list as well. Still got a couple of years on his contract, so we're definitely in no rush to sell him, and maybe a year out in Germany could do him the world of good. So we'll evaluate that upon his return. Obviously it frees up a little bit of money in the wage budget. We're looking very healthy on the transfer budget front, and obviously with the Jordan Ross money potentially coming in as well, then we will still have options. And Amaral as well, most of his wages will be paid with the loan options that we have accepted, so we'll free up another 100,000 on there. So looks like we have a bit of room to manoeuvre, and hopefully we can bring in a good little defensive midfielder there. He was very unsure before, now he's only dubious, so I think our chances of signing him maybe have improved. So we'll go ahead and make the same offer that we did before and see what Sinkhorn Silly's contract demands are. Yeah, this is much better than what we saw before as well, so I definitely feel that we're more, already we've improved. He needed us to offer him so much more. Actually wouldn't mind making him a star player despite his young age, just to get him over the line. We'll see if he wants to drop down to an important player who doesn't quite want to, but we'll finalise that just to get this one over the line. Obviously it is quite high with the wages and appearance fee. We'll see if we can drop these down a little bit, but I feel this would be a tremendous sign for us, not just now but in the future as well. Him and Arnott competing in that defensive midfielder role, I feel it's nice competition for them both to have. When Arnott suffered his big injury last year, obviously he was out for a few months of the season, and that saw his determination take a huge nosedive. It's on its way back up now, and hopefully we can keep it going back up as well, but maybe something that has hampered his development a little bit, so having some increased competition in there can only be a good thing for him. So we'll be happy to get that deal over the line, and then I think we definitely need to look out for another goalkeeper, but the squad is looking quite good after that, I think. So yeah, maybe not too much more to do at the moment. Sinkhorn Silai is now a Stockport player. It's great to get him over the line. Obviously he is still young, but I feel he's going to be a tremendous player for us moving forward. Obviously we've got Journeyman here who can help him adapt and fit into the club and hopefully make him settle in quite nicely. But I think it's great to have this guy along for the ride and just here to develop nicely for us. So we look forward to seeing what he can do on the pitch as well. But we'd like to welcome him to the club. He might be getting joined by another youngster as well, Francisco Sandoala. He's a young Portuguese attacking midfielder, and one who again looks like he could have a great future on his hands. Will be coming in as a breakthrough prospect, so will be playing for the under-21s through this season, but could make some appearances for the first team, who knows. But we're waiting to see if he agrees his contract, and yeah, hopefully we can get that one over the line. And with us saying that we needed a new keeper, we did bring in Toby Coleman. He signed for us on the day of his 19th birthday, but thankfully he will still qualify as being homegrown at the club. So we literally got him in right on the deadline where he could be homegrown at club. He does have lots of room to improve. He is in the first team squad. Obviously, we'll be getting lots of minutes for the under-18s and under-21s this year just to keep him improving. But great to have him around. And yeah, hopefully we can see a nice little bit of development from him as well. Obviously, we're overspending on those budgets at the moment, but we still got the Jordan Ross transfer to go through. I think once that does go through, though, we could have a completed squad here. It's 27 people at the moment. Once Jordan Ross goes, that would be 26. And obviously, we've got 3 keepers in there, so 23 outfield players. It's a decent amount. Likes of Matthew will probably be on the fringes. So yeah, I feel we've got good balance in the squad at the moment. So I feel it's been a good, successful transfer window, and hopefully it sets us up nicely for the beginning of the season as well. And that deal for us has gone through. £34 million being added to the transfer budget. He will be a player that we are going to miss. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for him, but realistically we did need to improve, and getting the money that we could when he was in the last year of his contract, I think we've got a great little bit of business for the club there. So that brings us back below the wage budget spend, and obviously a healthy amount to bring in players if we do need to. But with the squad we've got at the moment, like we say, want to test these guys out over the first couple of games of the season just to see how they're adapting to the new formation, if we are getting a few more goals. Pre-season's been going quite well for us at the moment. We're about to get into the tougher fixtures though, but yeah, so far it's been going quite well for us, and I think yeah, we've set ourselves up nicely for a good season. Not just a good season, but a good future as well. Francisco Santiago becomes the latest youngster to sign for the club, and hopefully another one who will develop fantastically at the club and become a fixture for the first team in the future. So we're delighted to have him along for the ride. He goes into the under-21s for the time being, but I'm sure at some point we could be seeing him break into the first team. I think for the time being that transfer of Francisco will be the last one that we do today. We've got a good little squad lined up for the beginning of the season. We've got 26 people in there. Unfortunately, Leonardo Costa's debut will have to wait. He's picked up a little injury, so he's going to be out for the first month of the season about. But I feel with the improvements that we have made, we'll be doing well a challenge, and we'll be able to finish much better off than we did last season. And then hopefully with that we'll be able to improve the squad once again next year, have a realistic challenge. But we've cleared out some fringe players, brought in players who I think do improve the squad, and we'll just have a quick look at the season preview as well. We're expected to finish in 12th place, which is actually the target. We are just set a mid-table finish, so that would be where it would leave us, but we've been exceeding this target every single time we've come onto the pitch. So hopefully it's going to be another season where we exceed that and hopefully finish in and around league positions here. But it's going to be an exciting start. The first game is against Aston Villa in a week's time, and then we're playing Brighton after that. So those 2 games will be coming up in tomorrow's episode. Make sure you're back for that. If you have enjoyed that, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Remember to subscribe to the channel for regular Football Manager content. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.